Welcome on Texas football. Time to talk a little Longhorns versus Sam Houston State. Texas taking on the Bearcats at 7 o'clock on Saturday night at DKR. The broadcast will be telecast on ESPN Plus. So make sure you have your viewing schedule set up because it's not on any regular cable channel. Before we get there, though, let's preview this game a little bit. I want to talk the Texas offense versus Sam Houston State defense, and vice versa, the Bearcats offense versus the Texas defense. Rod, let's start off with that Texas offense going against the Sam Houston State defense.
Yeah, and I hate to put it like this, but this should be the slump buster for the Texas passing game. And I've said it before, if the Texas passing game doesn't find its groove and can't get on track versus this Sam Houston State defense, then yes, I will join others in pressing the panic button. I have not pressed the panic button yet. I do have it here. It is here on my stack of papers, but I have not pressed it. I brought it out at one point during that UTEP game, but I did not press it. I let cooler heads prevail. But here are the numbers for Sam Houston State, guys. They 133rd in pass defense, 113th in pass efficiency defense, 115th in completion percentage allowed, 131st in passing touchdowns allowed, 119th or worse in 10, 20, 30, or 40-yard completions allowed. It is one of the worst pass defenses in college football, guys, period. And so if Texas can't find their groove versus this group, then I think there are some deeply rooted issues that may not be able to be solved this upcoming season. That's the way I look at it. So I hate to kind of throw it out there, but I've never been this much invested in an opponent like Sam Houston State when Texas is playing them. But I think there's a lot on the line potentially for Texas in this matchup to make sure that they execute well and come out of this matchup with a lot of confidence going into that bye week, especially on offense.
CJ, you agree with Rod? I mean, where are you at on this situation?
Yeah, look, if they can't score points against Sam Houston State, if they can't move the ball efficiently through the air, if they can't do it this weekend, Rod, I'm with you. I'll be going hand in hand with you, pushing the panic button. This should be the opportunity for guys to get open, for guys to create plays with the ball in their hands. And I say that because, look, Texas forced a season-high 14 missed tackles against a pretty good UTEP tackling team a week ago. Sam Houston State, not a good tackling team. In fact, they've had 37 missed tackles. That's about 12.5 per game over the first 3 weeks of the season. That's more than double that of what UTEP came into the game with. So, again, Texas should be able to out-athlete a lot on the perimeter. I know that they're shorthanded out there, but still, there should be a difference in talent as well. But more so up front. I want to see protection. I want to see running lanes. I want to see some of these running backs create with the ball in their hands as well. That's where I'm looking as well.
Rod, I got to go back to you. Is there a particular item or aspect that you're looking for from Texas in the passing game this week? Is it completion percentage, for instance, of Arch Manning? Is it yards per attempt? And just what is it that you're looking for from Texas against Sam Houston State?
I'd like to see the passing game have a rhythm to it, where he's getting the ball out on time and confidently. In rhythm and accurately. We haven't really seen that. It's been very erratic. So I'd love to see that. I'd like to see Arch confident. I'd like to see him with some swagger. Can we get, if we do have a score or a big play, can we get some celebrations and get him, with some of those secret handshakes or whatever with the teammates? I just want to see him having joy on the football fields. I don't think he's had that this season, really. And that's really what I want to see. I want to see him out there having fun with his teammates on offense. But they should have big plays. Listen, nobody's giving up more 40-plus yard completions on the season than this Sam Houston State secondary and pass defense. So if you're looking, and I think 30-plus yard completions, only eight teams have allowed more in the country in 30-plus yard completions. So Texas having a hard time with explosive plays. Well, that's another thing I want to see in this matchup. You should see some explosive plays. And if you don't, then, like I said, maybe there are some more deeply rooted issues that we need to be concerned about.
CJ, what about what about the run game for Texas? I mean, we're just talking about passing game with Arch Manning. The run game for Texas has been hit or miss at times, to the point where Texas had to use Arch Manning in the run game last week against UTEP. What about the Texas run game?
Yeah, it's interesting looking at just the broader 3-week rushing stats for the Texas offense. Arch Manning is your leading rusher, your leading yards per carry. Running back as well. He's got the only touchdowns through the ground as well. I'd like to see that running game get going. And it's been tough. Obviously, no Trey Wisner, CJ Baxter back on the shelf with a, soft tissue hamstring issue. That's unfortunate. But again, you should see running lanes. You should see open avenues for these running backs to get going. And I know that we've talked about it on the chat. I probably made it a bit of a stir as well on social media and on the boards. But Texas hasn't had a 20-yard rush attempt since Jarrett Gibson's 21-yard scamper against Clemson in the first round of the college football playoff. That is way too long. That's 142 carries to specifically running backs in between 20-yard attempts. And look, that doesn't mean that you're rattling them off time and time again, but one needs to get free. One needs to go to that confidence level that we talk about with Arch Manning, Rod. I don't think that running game has it as well. One quick note on Arch Manning. When you talk about what you want to see, Rod, I want to see this. Intermediate throwing. He's 7 of 21 this year in between 10 and 19 yards down the field. He's been fine throwing the ball vertically down the field, about 47% completion. You take that. That's good.
Down the field, though.
Yes, but those passes attempted 10 to 19 yards down the field, that area where Quinn Ewers was fantastic, that's been completely flipped on its head this year.
Interesting. Hey, that's 7 of 21, 1 of 3. That's not good. It's maybe though. Sam Houston State is just what the doctor ordered. Rod call them slump busters.
Hey,
that's not where you want to start in life. We called the slump buster. Before we move further, this is the Bingham's Bourbon breakdown. I want to make sure that Rod gets a chance to tell everybody about Ryan Bingham and his special product, his bourbon.
Oh, yes, Bobby. Happy to. This episode of On Texas Football brought to you by Bingham's Bourbon and created by Grammy and Oscar-winning artist Ryan Bingham. For years, Ryan turned down offers to just put his name on any bottle of bourbon. No, he instead wanted a bourbon he could be proud of and one that stayed true to his Texas roots and where the music comes from. That's why he built Bingham's from the ground up, a Texas certified whiskey made with 100% Texas grown grains, distilled and aged in the searing Texas climate for a bold, unmistakable flavor. From the hands of local Texas farmers to the barrel to the glass, every drop is a tribute to the land, the craft, and the people who shape it. Bingham's Bourbon, proof that Texas makes a damn good bourbon. Available now across the great state of Texas. You can find details at binghamspirits.com. That's binghamspirits.com.
I tell you what, a couple of things I was thinking about that. He's playing at Moody, by the way, in Austin on November 7th. He's at Billy Bob's in Fort Worth later in November. But next week, guess where he's at? He's at Michigan Stadium playing in Ann Arbor. Not bad for
that's wow.
That's pretty sweet.
Country boy playing Michigan Stadium. All right, let's go to the Sam Houston State defense, the Sam Houston State offense versus the Texas defense. This has clearly been the strength of the Texas team, CJ, the defense to this point in the year. I mean, they've allowed 2 touchdowns just once in a game. Your thoughts on how Texas shapes up against a Sam Houston offense led by Phil Longo, who was a offensive coordinator for Mac Brown for 4 years out at North Carolina.
Yeah, if this was a shutout for the Texas defense, it would not surprise me. In fact, this is one where you should see a single digit, maybe even a single scoring possession on the field for Sam Houston State. I think the Texas defense really has a strong day on Saturday. And I say that because, look, Sam Houston State's kind of going through it at the quarterback position. You start the year with Hunter Watson. He gets dinged up, doesn't play against Hawaii. Then you start out with maybe Matur, doesn't make it through the Hawaii game, and you throw in Landon Locke, who came out of Rockwall. They're kind of up in the air at the quarterback position right now. Who starts on Saturday, we'll have to wait and see. But of those 3 quarterbacks through the year so far, 8 of 25 on passes, attempted 10-plus yards down the field. That includes 20. That includes 30 yards down the field. That's that 30%, Bobby, that we just talked about with Arch. It's bad. They cannot move the ball offensively. They are 4 of 8 scoring points in the red zone. That is 133rd in the entire country. And on fourth downs, this year, they are 3 of 10. That is 120th in the country. So those key snaps, in the goal line area and on downs to move the chains, not their strength, and especially not at the quarterback position. Rod, you mentioned explosive plays as well. They only have 9 plays right now through 3 games that have gained 20 or more yards. That is 109th in the country as well. Not an explosive defense. And look, if you don't have explosivity against this Texas offense, especially through the air, it's going to be a long day.
I got to ask you, CJ, is there a chink in the armor of the Texas defense that you've noticed through 3 games? Not so much that Sam Houston State can exploit, but overall, any kind of stats that are out there that kind of worry you about the Texas defense in kind of subliminally, I guess, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it's maybe not a glaring issue yet, but I do think we've seen teams target 1 or 2 defensive backs so far, right? San Jose State really went after Grayson Littleton week 2, and I think this past week UTEP looked at Jalen Gilbo and said, that's the guy that we're going to circle and we're going to target. And right now, Jalen Gilbo is top 6 in SEC play for cornerbacks in terms of allowing yards this year through the air. Again, if you're allowing yards to a UTEP, to a San Jose State, I'm assuming that a Texas A&M, a Georgia, and Oklahoma is looking at that tape saying, that's a guy that we can go after right now.
Interesting. Rod, what do you think of the Texas defense? You think that this is a game where they might be able to cause some turnovers?
They should. And CJ's kind of referenced some of this stuff, but I believe they're 130th in sacks allowed, 124th in tackles for loss allowed. So once again, slump buster. Texas can't get some of those havoc plays, those negative plays against this team. You should. Now, Sark has mentioned that teams are, getting rid of the football quicker against Texas. I think he said what UTEP average was under 2 seconds time to throw against Texas. So that makes it tough, of course. But against this team, I still think you should, just because you're overwhelmingly more athletic, be able to create some of those havoc plays and negative plays. And they do want to throw the football. I mean, they may try to stay balanced against Texas too, but they're going to have a hard time trying to figure out anything really successfully that'll work against Texas. I will say this, I do think they have, I will say 18 3-and-outs on the season as well. So they're averaging 6 3-and-outs a game. I'm not including the turnovers or anything like that. I'm not including having 5 plays and out. Just the 3-and-outs. They got 18 of them. So that's usually half your drives. I think teams average 13 drives, something like that, 14 drives a game. There's half their damn drives are 3-and-outs, guys. And that's against other teams, not against this Texas. If I'm Texas, I got some goals like, you know what, man? Shutout number 1 is our number 1 goal. And then after that, I'm thinking, how many 3-and-outs can we get? How many times can we get them just up and off the field, where we give our offense back the football, so our offense, which really needs it, can get the bump and keep getting more confidence against this Sam Houston team. So the defense can do a lot of favors for this Texas offense actually in this game. Get the ball back, man. Get the ball back. They shouldn't have the ball very long at all.
Rod, what about the same question to you that I posed to CJ? Anything over the first 3 weeks that concerns you about the Texas defense?
No, nothing that should concern you. I mean, you got to be nitpicky here. And that's what we're doing for the Texas defense, just so folks know. And if you're being nitpicky, he's right. They are targeting. You're going to target any true freshman that's on the field. That's just, it's stupid if you don't do it. He won't be a true freshman by the middle of SEC play, but right now he is. So as a true freshman, there's a chance he's going to make a true freshman mistake. And we saw a few of those in the San Jose State game with Grayson Littleton. Now, this guy, in this game, they tried him and he ended up getting an interception. I think that's what kind of season it's going to be for him. But I do think they're targeting Grayson Littleton. I don't know if you may look at it. I don't know if there's a player in the country that's been targeted more actually than Grayson Littleton. But I do think he's up to the task. And they went up to Gilbo. Gilbo is averaging, I think, or allowing over 10 yards per target right now.
That's not going to be good against maybe better.
Yeah, it's supposed to you're looking like, oh, I think you should target him more. Now he does have a pick. Should have had 2. But we started looking at it, he's giving up a lot of yards, actually.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, we'll see how that goes. I mean, look, Sam Houston State, guys, as we get into our prediction stage of this game, Sam Houston State has lost to Western Kentucky, Hawaii, and UNLV. It's not like they've been playing Ohio State every week. And these 130th in sacks allowed they're not coming against Texas. They're coming against Hawaii, UNLV, and Western Kentucky. So slump buster on both sides of it. I would also add this. This is a Sam Houston State team that has a new head coach. Phil Longo is the new coach for them. Last year, Sam Houston State went 10-3 and won the New Orleans Bowl. That's kind of crazy to me that they're already 0-3 and so bad in these categories. But it is the nature of college football these days, how quickly things can turn if you lose a head coach and you lose the players. It's just one of those things. This Sam Houston State team is not very good. CJ, I'll start with you. I want to get your prediction for this weekend's game.
Yeah, we're abandoning the bells and the whistles. No phone score, no drawing of burgers for the 50 burgers. No, we're just going straight back to the fundamentals, much like what I expect to see from the Texas offense this weekend. The spread's 41. Does Texas have 42 points in them? I don't know, Rod. This should be the weekend, right? But I'm going 38-3 Texas. Until I see it with this Texas offense, I'm going to err on the side of caution here. So 38-3, Longhorns end up taking care of business at home under the lights.
They're only scoring 38 points against the number 120-something defense in the country.
Only Rod, what do you got? A week ago.
I'm going to go with a shutout here. I think defense gets a shutout, and they should. This is the game for it. Man, I know. This offense does not deserve for me to pick them to cover this number. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I think Sam Houston State is that bad defensively. Not that Texas is that good offensively. But I do think Sark, because of some of the criticism this week, I think he pulls out some of his specialty plays that he may not have used so far this season that Longhorn fans have been clamoring for. So I think you see a little bit of the best of Sark early on, and I'm hearing Arch is having good practices, whatever that means. So yes, 42-0, they cover the number. I'm feeling optimistic.
By the hook.
I got to tell you, I'm ahead of you guys now. I'm a believer right now. I'm one of those guys that I always realize that if you zig when everybody else zags, you still got a good chance of being right. I'm going Texas 56-0.
Damn.
Right? I'm going big. I think that it's time to kind of exercise some demons for Arch Manning. I think that DeAndre Moore should be back this week. I think Trey Weiser is going to get some run. I think James Simon is a piece of this. I think that they're going to get more people on the field to help Arch out here. And I do think that there's a we got to show some people going on in the locker room too. I think that that's where it's at. Now, the one thing I would say this is I almost went 56-7, and that 7 was going to be a pick 6 from Arch.
Oh.
And I want to say this now. This is the problem that I foresee a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Is what happens if Texas looks great and then somewhere in the second or third quarter we see a pick 6 that's just a bad play. And everybody's going to say, well, this is the up and down nature, I think, of a young quarterback that is yet to really be 100% confident. Okay. And so everybody – just get your chill pill and get ready for it when you're watching the game. It is a peak and valley situation right now with the Texas quarterback. But I'm going 56-0, and I feel confident in the Texas defense, like you guys do, clearly. And I just think that it's time for Texas to show up a little bit more on offense. I think the offensive group is a little bit miffed themselves right now. It's okay against San Jose State. It wasn't okay against UTEP. So we'll see if that's a concerted effort. All right, that's going to do it for this week's Bingham's Bourbon Breakdown. Rob, will you tell folks one more time about Bingham's Bourbon?
Glad to. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it. We appreciate our friends over at Bingham's Bourbon as well. And our friend and Oscar-winning and Grammy Award-winning artist Ryan Bingham, for years, he turned down offers to just put his name on a bottle. Instead, he wanted a bourbon he could be proud of, one that stayed true to his Texas roots and where the music comes from. That's why he built Bingham's from the ground up, a Texas-certified whiskey made with 100% Texas-grown grains, distilled and aged in the searing Texas climate for a bold, unmistakable flavor. From the hands of a local Texas farmers to the barrel to the glass, every drop is a tribute to the land, the craft, and the people who shape it. Bingham's Bourbon, proof that Texas makes a damn good bourbon. Available now across the great state of Texas. You can find details at binghamspirits.com. That's binghamspirits.com.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's breakdown. Rod Babers, CJ Vogel, I'm Bobby Burton. Thanks also to our producer, Matt Hutchison. You guys will be back again later this afternoon, or this evening, excuse me. Amanda Atwell will be hosting the live stream alongside CJ and Jeff Howe. We'll see you then, guys. Hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em.